The Entrepreneurship Video Lecture Series on developing your business story. In today's lecture, we are going to talk about identifying and describing your competition. When we talk about competition, you're going to have direct and indirect competitors. And really what you should be doing is listing three indirect competitors and three direct competitors, with getting into a greater analysis with your direct competitors. Every business has competition. A lot of students, a lot of people say, well, I don't have any competition. No one does what I'm going to do. All right? You have competition. One way or the other, you have competition. I always like to give restaurants as an example of competition. Well, no one's going to serve food or have what I do, but you're still going to have competition. As much as you want to believe no one else does what you do, you're going to have competition. Now, you might have a sit-down restaurant that serve like a restaurant bar food, and you're going to have hamburgers and cheeseburgers and nachos, those type of items. Now, is McDonald's a direct competitor? Probably not. McDonald's is probably going to sell a different kind of product than you have. They're probably going to sell it at a lower cost price than you have, and they offer a different environment. But are they a restaurant? And is it a restaurant, and does it fight for your customers' overall eating budget? And so because McDonald's does fight for that overall eating budget, they become a competitor. They're not a direct competitor of yours. They're more of an indirect competitor. And so you're going to identify who you feel your indirect competitors are. Then you're going to identify your direct competitors. And then once you get into your three main direct competitors, these are the people that really are going to be going as close to head-to-head with you as you can find out of all the competition in the area. We need to evaluate and look at what your competition is doing. And so the first thing we're going to look at is what's the size of the business. Now, you could talk about physical location of the business. If they're a publicly held company, we can talk about the amount of sales that they're putting in on a regular basis. What are they reporting as their sales? You could talk about the number of customers. Then we're going to go into and identify the products offered, the services, and the variations that they offer. Now, if you looked at one of our previous lecture series videos where we talking about your own product offerings, you're going to get into that same type of analysis with your three direct competitors. What products are they offering? What services go along with those products? What variations and or customizations can customers get out of those products? What is their pricing structure? Do they offer a high, medium, and low? How does their pricing compare to your pricing? Is it higher than your pricing? Is it lower than your pricing? How is their pricing put in line with what you are offering, and maybe even what the industry offers? Then you're going to look at each of the competitors and identify, here's three things that the competitors do really well, and maybe here's three things that are weaknesses of each competitor. And so you want to identify the strengths and weaknesses for each of the competitors that you're going to be running into with your business. Then you want to identify what is your competitive advantage. Now, we've identified your three main competitors. We've identified what they do well, what their weaknesses are. Now we need to go back to your business and say, what is it that you do better than your competition? And that's what we call your competitive advantage. What is it that, from a customer's perspective, we want to say to them, this is why we're better? Why do you consider that advantage? Why do you consider that to be an advantage for you? You might say, well, our service is going to be better. All right, every company has service. What is it about your service that's going to be better? We need to get away from just being generalized. You need to really focus and identify what is it that you are going to do differently. Why do you think this will have value to the customer? And then what are you going to do to keep this as an advantage? How are you going to sustain this competitive advantage over a long period of time? And then finally, how will this be different than what your competition is currently doing? If you're saying customer service is going to be an advantage for you, but you're also identifying customer service as a strength of one of your 3 direct competitors, you need to be able to identify how is your service different than what your competitors are doing. How is this going to be different? How is this truly an advantage for you?